The COBIT 5 Foundation Certificate. Module 2. The COBIT 5 Principles. Lesson 3. Principle 2. Covering the enterprise end-to-end. Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 3. In this lesson, the topics include the main elements of the governance approach and the key governance roles and activities. Principle 2 is covering the enterprise end-to-end. What does this mean? Well, it means that IT governance must integrate with the wider enterprise governance system. COBIT 5 has absorbed the latest thinking on governance so that it maintains alignment with evolving governance practices. The principle also means that it must encompass all activities needed to govern and manage information and associated technologies. The IT department is the custodian of much of the information of the enterprise and will manipulate and store it on behalf of the enterprise. But much information is acquired or created outside of IT. Indeed, it is common for skilled users to develop their own applications, databases, and spreadsheets. And of course, not all information is held electronically. There's still a lot of paper out there. The point then is that IT governance is not only about the IT department. Finally, the principle means that governance does not stop at the boundaries of the enterprise. The enterprise supplies, receives, shares, and exchanges information with other enterprises. It uses external IT services and provides IT services to other enterprises. And of course, stakeholders may be internal or external. The diagram on your screen illustrates the COBIT 5 governance approach. We've discussed the governance objective of value creation in an earlier lesson. This diagram shows how this rests on three elements: governance enablers, governance scope, and governance roles, activities, and relationships. COBIT defines a number of enablers of governance and management. The enablers represent the how or the means. Enablers include frameworks, principles, structures, processes, and practices, and resources such as services, people, and information. The ability of the enterprise to deliver stakeholder value will be constrained if these enablers are deficient in terms of quality or quantity. We'll be examining the enablers in detail in Module 3. For now, we just need to make the point that they are enterprise-wide. The activities described by the COBIT processes, for example, may be executed by non-IT staff. Governance can be approached from more than one perspective. Three perspectives are commonly recognized. The enterprise view, that is, the governance of the whole enterprise. The entity view, this deals with a specific part of the enterprise, a business unit or a function, for example. And the asset view. Assets may be tangible or intangible. A data center is an example of a tangible asset. Intellectual property is an example of an intangible asset. An effective governance system should take into account these different perspectives. An issue here is that different perspectives might have different and perhaps opposing needs. For example, partnerships between two enterprises might have conflicting implications for individual business units. One unit could see openness and transparency as being essential for the success of a joint venture. But another unit might see the partner as an actual or potential competitor and want to keep them at arm's length. An effective governance system will facilitate an appropriate balance. The third element of the COBIT 5 governance approach is roles, activities, and relationships. This is concerned with defining who is involved in governance, how the different roles interact, and what each role does. The diagram on your screen shows the key governance roles and the way they interact. The key roles are owners and stakeholders. These are the roles that own the enterprise. In the case of many commercial organizations, the shareholders are the owners. In the case of charitable organizations, this role is held by those who contribute donations. The second role is the governing body which acts on behalf of the owners and under their delegated authority. The governing body interprets the wishes of the owners, sets objectives and priorities for the managers, and monitors compliance and performance. The governors are given stewardship of the resources of the enterprise. They must ensure that resources are used wisely and in the interests of the owners. In its turn, the governing body is accountable to the owners for the performance of the enterprise and the use of its resources. The third role is management, which has the responsibility for carrying out the policies of the governing body and meeting their objectives. The managers plan and direct the resources needed to achieve the objectives of the governors. The final role is operations and execution. This represents those who perform the activities of the enterprise under the direction of the managers. You should take a few minutes to study this diagram so that you are clear about the relationship between the roles. Okay, that completes this lesson about Principle 2, covering the enterprise end-to-end. In this lesson, you learned about the main elements of the governance approach and the key governance roles and activities. Before we complete this lesson, here's a quick quiz to test what you've learned. At the end of the quiz, you'll receive your result and can try the questions again if you would like to. The next lesson is Module 2, Lesson 4, where you will learn about COBIT Principle 3, applying a single integrated framework.